AI and Ethics, Human, Transhuman, Posthuman, and the AI Apocalypse. The singularity is a name that AI researchers give to the point where AI can match human intelligence in breadth and would likely be both autonomous and capable of improving its capabilities, soon outstripping anything humans could ever achieve or control. So, what if the singularity occurs? What if general AI is achieved so that it can perform any cognitive task infinitely better than any human being? Would that be the end of the world as we know it? And would that be a bad thing? We each exist in a sort of moral landscape. That would include one's religious background. Even if one does not formally belong to a given religious tradition, that tradition can still affect one's point of view. For instance, as Kohlberg and Andrew Mark Henry, that is from the Religion for Breakfast clip, note, a fair bit of what we imagine when we think of the consequences of AI is in apocalyptic terms, where we appear to be on the knife's edge between everything falling apart into a dystopian nightmare or the dawn of a new and more perfect age. This approach has the following characteristics: a widespread feeling of alienation, a drive towards transformation, and a need to transcend the present order. This is a common feature found in Jewish, Christian, and Islamic literature from the 2nd century BCE to the present. In recent times, we have seen it at the dawn of the Enlightenment, the Industrial Revolution, the aftermath of the First World War, the Atomic Age and the Cold War, and the fall of communism. Kohlberg throws Plato into the mix as well, and then lumps most of Western philosophy into this. I would argue that he is not being quite fair at this point. Without getting too much into the weeds, Plato maintained that what is really real is the realm of ideas, pure forms. That is to say, the realm of mathematics and essences, things such as the idea or form of a horse, apple, tree, human being, and so on. The essence of a human being, often referred to as the soul, belongs to this realm. So, for Plato, it is not so much transcending the mundane, but returning to where we belong in the first place. Kohlberg complicates things for himself when he says that he cannot find the idea of transcendence in either Hinduism or Buddhism. He may be right that apocalyptic thinking doesn't exist in either of these traditions, but the Hindu idea of moksha or the Buddhist concept of nirvana are both about transcendence of some sort. Kohlberg suggests 3 approaches to the apocalypse. 1, to embrace it. 2, to resist it. Or 3, to proceed with caution. There are AI evangelists who would have us embrace AI wholeheartedly and look forward to a time when AI will either supplement our abilities or allow us to upload our consciousness into a machine. Now, loading one's consciousness may be an issue even with general AI, since, as we've already noted, consciousness and intelligence are 2 different things. In any case, we would, say the AI evangelist, move past the limitations of our human bodies. This has already been done in certain areas. For instance, researchers planting microchips into their brains so as to be able to perform tasks such as opening doors with special receivers just by thinking about that task. Now, this may sound like a gimmick, but the same techniques can be used in advanced prosthetics. Take this one step further so that we could access Google or Gemini directly without the need of using computers or laptops or phones. Or perhaps supplementing the brain capacity that we have with some sort of enhanced storage device. What about enhancing one's senses or adding senses that we currently do not possess? This is the vision of merging natural intelligence with artificial intelligence, or to engineer a better human being, or place our essential selves into something more resilient than feeble flesh and blood. Even if uploading ourselves into a machine isn't possible, what would it be like to move just short of that? Now, there are also nightmare scenarios. Let us back up to the state of AI right now. For instance, when you create a prompt for ChatGPT or Gemini, the LLM isn't interested in telling you the truth. It is designed to fulfill your request. Now, as it happens, LLMs do tend to be accurate, but, to use a term of art, they do hallucinate. That is to say, they just make things up. There is a mismatch between your aims and that of the AI. This means that any general AI not only has to be intelligent, but its aims and capabilities have to be compatible with what is good for human beings, or any other living creature for that matter. What keeps several experts up is not the tired Hollywood trope where the machine will become intelligent enough to start wondering why it is serving mere humans, but instead, what about developing AI where we don't understand all its implications until it is too late to correct our mistakes? AI evangelists and doomsayers aside, general AI may not come as soon as some expect, if ever. As is the various ways that AI processes information or works to solve problems does not appear to work the same way as humans do. Part of this is that we don't fully understand how human intelligence works, how we process information, how we plan or solve problems, or how it is that we integrate all the various ways of knowing into a single entity. Kokelberg also complains that these sort of AI worries distract us both from near-term issues, which we will get to, and other issues of justice, such as those of the effects of climate change on developing countries or pollution. In other words, the AI apocalypse is a first world sideshow in the face of much more immediate and existentially urgent global issues. Kokelberg uses three basic ways to frame AI ethical issues: humanism, transhumanism, and posthumanism. Each of these terms have various connotations. Without looking at these in detail, we can get some idea of what he is after. If we start with humanism, we can go back to Sandel and ask, what was the concern of justice? Sandel was asking what the just society looks like. Specifically, what is it to be a just human society? When we look at the common good, we have to ask the common good for whom? Well, human beings. The humanist point of view makes the human the center of meaning and value. For Kant, it is the human that is capable of pure reason. The libertarian gives human beings a unique place in possessing the property of self-ownership. J.S. Mill found the human capacity for appreciating refined pleasures unique. Aristotle saw the polis and eudaimonia as uniquely human. So, a humanist AI ethic would start and end in what is required for AI to enhance what it is to be human. Now, Aristotle is noted for stating that what it is to be human is to be a rational animal. Human beings are essentially rational beings embodied in a sort of meat bag. Transhumanists would counter that the rational and creative aspects of human nature is what is essential and the animal part can be set aside. For the transhumanist, AI is about freeing human beings from the limitations of the human body. There are two basic approaches to take here. One can augment our bodies, including direct access to AI, or replace our bodies. One could also take this a step further, where general AI would simply succeed us as a sort of next step in evolution. Whether that is good or bad for other species, however, is another matter. That would depend on the aims and values that we humans have encoded into the AI. It would depend on what we value in the first place. Posthumanism is used to cover a number of different intellectual movements. For our purposes, posthumanism simply moves the center of concern away from human beings. For the posthumanist, human beings are not the sole creators of value or the sole locus of meaning. Human beings may do ethics, but ethics is not exclusively about human beings. A posthumanism or a posthumanist would therefore not only look for what is good for us, either as rational animals or rational beings, but what is good for other living things and the natural processes for their own sakes.